guys, what is going on? This is Jam coming back at you with yet another video. And right now we are in Chico, California. And the reason we are here is because we are in search and finding some of these filming locations that was used for one of my personal favorite Disney Channel original films, Under Wraps. It was all filmed right here in Chico, California. And I have just stumbled upon the first location. Check this out. Right here is the opening of the movie. I believe the camera would have been on a frame, and you would have been able to see Senator as it came down, and then right here, and right here, it would have said Wardhead 4, and then there would have been a poster for Wardhead right here. As Marshall was coming out of the theater, the friend would have been waiting for him right here.
What'd I miss?
It would look like this. And then they would have started going this way.
Marshall, a one-headed demon, shish kebab, the family of four.
It's a horror movie. What do you think happens in a horror movie?
And that is the opening for Under Wraps. And I gotta be honest with you, the first time I watched that movie, it actually scared me quite bad. It wasn't so much for the mummy, it was actually for that one scene where they were watching that movie in that theater, Wardhead, and he would have grabbed the dad, and he would have jammed his head into the sink with that knife going through, and I just couldn't believe this was a Disney movie we were watching. But I don't think that'll fly today with Disney standards, but it was always one of my personal favorites growing up, and to be here where it was all filmed is just so cool. On to the next location. Another location that would have taken place right over here across the street is when the mummy was walking across. And you can actually see that theater in the background, and also that Thunderbird Lodge. You could have also saw that in the background as well. And he would have come up to this sidewalk right here. He would have been right here on this sidewalk, and then you could see this building right here in the background of the shot. Pretty awesome. Continuing our trip here in Chico, this is the road that the two kids were walking down when Mr. Kubat would have flown by in his car going down this way, and he would have gone right into this house right over here. He would have zoomed around and he would have went over into that corner right here. And the two kids, they would have been walking across the street right here, and you can actually see this house in the background as they were heading over to Kubat. Yeah, it would have been right there, coming across this street.
Mr. Kubat.
He always drives like that.
He's gonna kill somebody one day. Remember last spring when he ran over my bike?
So they would come up upon this sidewalk right here. As Kubat, he would have flown by on the corner right here, and then they would have come this way and this would have been the house of Mr. Kubat, and that's where the mummy was kept. And I think this house is now a frat house of some kind, but there would have been a fence along here. They've come up this sidewalk right here. They have knocked on that door, and the dog would have chased him away down that street right there. And that is under wraps.
Money. And we're... He's a dog. I didn't know he had a dog, did you?
Nope, no information for me. Run!
It's locked. I believe this is the basement where they would have found the mummy. But this is an apartment complex. And the mummy, I believe, would have been kept down here. It is a very old movie now. If I'm not mistaken, the movie is now, yeah, they have it completely boarded off, so there's no way to get in there. The movie is from the late 90s, so it's a good 20 years old, but yeah, it's taking place right down there in that basement. It's pretty awesome. And that is Mr. Kubat's house, under wraps. Let's go check out the next location. If I'm not mistaken, here's where the junior high Roosevelt sign would have been. It would have been right here. There would have been pumpkins all along this thing. And the kids would have been back here eating their lunch. And what's really interesting about this is it's actually not a junior high school. It's actually just a high school. Pretty crazy how they can just take a high school and flip it and make it a junior high. Let's go see if we can find the benches. Here's a shot of the junior high like this. You can see those trees in the background right there. I believe these trees are new and have been planted since recent. And then if you go around, they actually keep this pretty well locked up. If you go around to the side of the school, and there you can actually see some of the benches. I'm not sure if these were the benches they used in the movie or not, or if that's where the kids sat, because it is pretty well locked down and we don't want to trespass and break any laws. So, moving along. So right here is the scene where the mummy would have been running down the street. There would have been bikes right around here, and the kids would have pulled him right here.
Where have you been?
Yeah, him and Marshall and his friend would have ran up those steps right there after they flown from Mr. Kubat's house. And the house is a good distance away from Mr. Kubat's. So they ran either quite a ways. Marshall would have been looking out at that window right over here at Ted and his mom. They would have been right there. And the mummy would have dropped that toy out of the window and chased the dog for it. If I'm not mistaken, he would have gone down this way right here. Yeah, they would have used that house for both the interiors and the exteriors. I wish we could go inside and look at the room, but alas, we cannot. And that's the under wraps house that was used in the film. Pretty awesome to see it all these years later. Still up, still going. So, very cool. If you're ever in Chico, California, the people who own this house are very nice. And makes me sad, makes me a little depressed that how far we've come since that time. It has definitely changed a lot since then. So let's get one more shot at the house. Continuing our trip through Chico, California, we now find ourselves in front of this museum, and this is where the mysteries of the pyramids would have taken place. The kids would have been riding their bikes along these streets right here. There would have been an old school mailbox right over here in the corner, and that's where one of the kids would have crashed right into it, looking for Harold, the mummy. And after they discovered him, one of the kids would have crashed his bikes right here on the mailbox, and that's when they would have noticed this particular museum. There would have been a sign hanging right along here that says Mysteries of, and there would have been a sign hanging right here, Mysteries of the Pyramids, right here on the Veterans Memorial.
We shouldn't be here. We're gonna get caught. Shh.
And those kids would have came up these steps right here in search of their mummy friend. And it is closed. So
Doesn't look like we'll be gaining access to this anytime. But yeah, that's where the mummy would have been with his female mummy friend. And so yeah, guys, that is just absolutely mind-blowing to be standing right here. I have always loved that movie Under Wraps. It's always been one of my personal favorite movies. It's now some 20 plus years old now, and here we are 20 years later visiting all these locations and sharing them with you guys on YouTube. And so it's crazy how much time has passed. All the kids from the movie are now grown up. They're all fully grown adults, and it's, I don't know, it's kind of like reminiscing almost, being right here at this memorial. So, anyways, guys, that was always one of my favorite movies. Let me know in the comments what your Disney Channel original favorite movie was. Let me know. And I hope you guys enjoyed what you saw. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We will talk to you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.